Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Muscle Podcast with my fabulous co-host, Jodi. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Gio. If you're new here, welcome. Gio and I are two friends that individually went on our own health and wellness journeys and collectively have lost and maintained 140-pound weight loss. And we're here to show everybody that it is possible. We're worth it as human beings. If you are on your own fitness journey, or maybe you've been there for a while, maybe you're just starting out, be sure to subscribe and learn more about our journeys and everything health and wellness and fitness.
And we're here to help. We concentrate on everybody, but we do love to help the beginner because Jodi and I were once there and we know how hard it is. Our next guest, Dr. Megan Johnson McCullough, ED, is the owner of Everybody's Fitness Studio and Mindful Body Substance Abuse Treatment Center in Oceanside, California. She's an elite NASM master trainer, world champion natural bodybuilder, fitness model, and author of 10 fabulous books. Welcome to the show, Dr. Megan. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me start with one of your books. I was looking at your books and I just love the title. I haven't read it yet, but I probably will get around to it. It's called Biceps and Butterflies. What's the inspiration behind the title and what is the book about?
Sure. The book is the first book that I ever wrote. It took place during COVID, and I was thinking of a way to reach my audience and help people because my gym was shut down. Writing that book was a very cathartic experience, and it's the story of my mother and I. So when I was 21, my mother, she unfortunately passed away. She was an alcoholic. And I found her body. It was a very traumatic experience. Today, the butterfly represents her spirit. I believe I got all of her incredible qualities. She was a world champion baton twirler, and now I'm a world champion bodybuilder. So it's the transformation of my life that's taken place with her spirit and honoring her. A lot of people might think that my life has been perfect or that I have all of these incredible things going on, but they don't know my story. But shares my story and that you can accomplish great things even through tragedy.
Oh, that is awesome. What would you say to somebody who's going through tragedy and feels like they can't overcome that? Obviously, we all go through difficult times. How were you able to not only thrive, but continue to honor her name?
One of the things that I've learned is my faith has really grown. I'm a big believer in God, and my higher power brought me a lot closer to God, using my faith to guide and direct me and pray for discernment and direction. A lot of that is true in any sort of realm of recovery, that you find your higher power, 12 steps, etc. Through the books that I've written, it's important to share your story and reach out for help. When you know that other people have gone through similar situations, more people are better equipped to ask for help and receive help when they know that you're not alone. It's really important that we have our private lives, but sometimes telling someone our story and letting them know that you're human and that we all need help at times, to let down our ego and our pride and realize that maybe we need to seek some sort of mental health help, medication management, or therapy. It doesn't mean that you're a victim or weak or that you can't overcome this on your own, but really, seeking help there's nothing wrong with that. It actually shows, it shows a lot of strength and courage to do that.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
And I love that you mentioned that your faith has been instrumental in your life, but you didn't exclude the fact that you can still mental help. Sometimes people disassociate faith from actually going to a professional and seeking help. So now, what motivated you to go down into this path of fitness, of bodybuilding? Obviously, you own several clinics. When did that dream spark?
My first bodybuilding competition was in 2017. I had my fitness studio for about 5 years at that point. A lot of trainers around me do competitions, and when I was working in corporate gyms, they did competitions. A lot of my clients would be like, I'm pretty sure you could go up there and do that. I'm like, I think there's a lot more to that. with my personality and traits and qualities, like I don't just do things, like I do things 100 and then more, nothing in
Mhm.
moderation. At that time, when you look at anything about bodybuilding, you instantly correlate it with Arnold Schwarzenegger or
Mhm.
see the huge giant women up there. I know that performance enhancing drugs can be part of that. With my personality, I knew if I get into that's a really dark side for me, and I'm going to take it and run with it, and I know that it's going to become unhealthy for me. And so I always avoided that. But then a friend that I used to work with, a trainer, said there's natural bodybuilding shows. They actually drug test you. It's just like work hard, eat clean, learn the poses, get up there and do it. And I'm like, okay. So that was, I believe, 2016 around Christmas time. And so I was like, maybe it could be a New Year's resolution. So I signed up for a competition in March. I prepared for 3 months. I went up there and did it. In my second show, I got my pro card. So I fell into it.
Mm.
I've always been competitive and athletic. I played basketball in college and all my life. It's given me a new stage to do that. I will say it definitely was something where I was like, okay, I'll try it and see how that goes. I'm very grateful that I did it the way that I did it. There's no discredit to, any other type of bodybuilding. For me personally, that's
Mhm.
not something that I can bring into my life and be able to control it.
What has bodybuilding given you and doing the shows and competing?
So for me, I own a gym and I'm in an environment of exercise and working out all day, every day, right? I could just go through the motions and use light weights and just lead a class and reap the benefits of that. But if I'm going to do it, I might as well have some intention behind it. It gives me a goal and a why to exercise and work out. So I am human, right? Otherwise, I would just do it and eventually adaptation takes place. I might get results, but I would just have a in shape body, not the body that I desire. I don't have a goal to stick to and to associate it with. And I believe that when you don't have a goal, you're less motivated and more likely to skip a workout or take days off, etc. It's helped me in my own personal physical activity to stick with it, be motivated, push myself. And now I've gotten to travel the world doing it.
Mhm.
My husband and I have been all over because of the opportunities that bodybuilding has presented in my life. I've gotten to do fitness modeling from it. And again, I've gotten to have that competitive outlet that I've always had my whole life. In my adult life, I was seeking that, but didn't know where to find it. But fulfilling that, I think it's inspiring others as well. A
Speaking
lot of
of
things to get out of it.
speaking of inspiration, somebody here may be doing her own first show. What would you recommend to somebody who's gonna start preparing for their own show for the first time?
I think that it's very important to have realistic expectations. Know that what you're going through as you prepare for a show is only temporary. If you can incorporate it more into a lifestyle change, it might be less excruciating. I think it's important to still live your life while you're preparing. Don't isolate, take your moods out on other people. It's your goal and you're bringing it upon yourself. So don't take it upon other people or make it their problem. It's your choice, right? It's just like in a
Mhm.
relationship, you choose to be with the other person. So we all make choices. No matter how it goes up there on stage, smile, look at the judges, and be confident that you've worked hard. The first time you get up there, you might have to look at the person next to you and be like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to do that. But if you enter as a true novice, first timer, those other girls are going through the same experience you are. And like I talked about before, when you share experiences with others, talk about it, then you're more likely to get up there and do better knowing that other people are going through it as well. And just be proud of yourself. And I do recommend don't just do it one time because you will get better at it. You could really learn the second time you get up there, you'll know a little bit more about what you're doing because it goes by so quick. A T walk or an I walk, it's like a minute or a minute and a half. Then they might have you up there standing and do quarter turns against the other gals. And that's 2 minutes. And that's one of the things you work hard and spend hours on makeup and tan, and it's a short moment. I think that give it a couple tries and go into it knowing that my first time is my trial. My second time, I'm going to get up there with a little bit more direct goals about how I want the outcome to be.
What would you say is the hardest thing in preparation?
Oh, the diet, especially For natural bodybuilding, you do have to, there are no fat burners, there's no way around it. It's finding fuel when the tank is empty and when you're going through brain fog and you're thirsty. I would say, just like in everyday life, diet and nutrition is all around us. You will feel the effects that nutrition takes on your body. It feels good seeing the results, but some days, do all protein days, it's really hard. Like, it's super hard. But I've been doing this for a while, and I know in front of my clients, I might slip and say, this is a hard day for me, but I try to really just maintain my leadership and my mood and keep smiling because I've chosen to do this. So I don't want to say I need to go home early, I don't feel good. No, I'm choosing to do this, and I want this to be lasting in my life. So I'm not going to cut everyone out for this whole preparation. But it's eating. It's definitely eating.
Tell me about, obviously, because of your mother, you've gotten into the addiction and recovery space. What are some of the other addiction and recoveries that you help people with in your clinics?
When I got my doctorate, my research focused on the effects of exercise on substance abuse addictions treatment. So next door is my treatment center, Mindful Bodies Recovery, and it is an outpatient treatment center. So we do treat all forms of addiction. The only one we don't focus on is sexual addiction, because that's a different realm. It can be anything from eating disorders to opioids. A lot of people sometimes come in with more than one. One of the important things that the behavioral therapists and psychiatrists work on is dual diagnosis. That means that we're not just treating the addiction in an isolated, stop doing that. There is some sort of mental health condition associated with why you started to do this, why you're continuing to do this, and why you can't stop. We treat that as well. It can be some sort of trauma, or maybe you do have depression or a bipolar disorder, and we need to tap into those elements. We can't just fix one thing. We're fixing you as a whole. It's a holistic process that your overall mental and physical well-being, has to continue to abstain from doing this again. It's a lifelong cycle that every day a person in recovery faces. We want to be sure that you have the capacity and the strength to do that, not just telling you these are the tools that can help you not drink or use anymore. It might involve medication management, ongoing seeing a behavioral therapist to avoid triggers that stimulate you to want to use or drink or whatever that might be.
How have you found fitness to help in that recovery for people?
So fitness can be a complementary tool to any form of treatment. It's not a replacement. It's not to say that you should exercise your way out of addiction.
Depression.
But it's a way to complement your treatments. It can be that every day after work, you used to go hit happy hour. Now your happy hour is at the gym. It can be a healthy habit that you're now incorporating. You can meet like-minded people, so create a better environment for yourself socially, also in a different environment of a gym or wherever you're going to exercise. It releases positive endorphins in the same way that whatever you were using did before. It improves your body image, your self-efficacy, and obviously those are the mental benefits, but also there's the physical benefits as well, to ward off many types of chronic diseases. It's empowering to do something that is good for you and to leave knowing that you just spent an hour on self-care that makes you feel better about yourself. In the process of recovery, it is very true that it's one day at a time, one workout at a time. You're getting better and focusing on doing something that's improving your body, not hurting it anymore.
Do you only work with those from a fitness aspect that are going through recovery, or do you take on clients?
I've had my fitness studio for 13 years. So I've had the treatment center for 1 year. So there are many people God attracts into my life who are in recovery. And in a one-on-one capacity training someone, we might tap into that a little bit more. But in a group environment, not everyone in the group is aware of that. And then some of the patients do come over and exercise as well. But I definitely My niche is, general population, older adults, medical fitness related. So that could be someone who has Parkinson's or some sort of injury, all sorts of medical needs that a normal gym couldn't offer. I have a cell phone app that people can download. So it coincides with my research study was turned into an academic textbook that's used in psychology courses. I created a cell phone app from that so people in recovery can have an exercise program to follow. Also, anyone in the general population can benefit from it. It's strength training, weight loss, or whatever the goal might be.
I noticed the app called FitPace. Where can people find it? Let them know about it.
So FitPace is available in the Google Play stores or in Apple. Just type in FitPace, it'll pop up and have my little icon on it. The PACE stands for Proactive Awareness of Controlling Excess. We're keeping things in the realms of moderation. You exercise for this time frame of your day. That's it. You did it. You accomplished it, and carry on. Because we don't want exercise to become unhealthy or a replacement. So just like anything, that anyone can become addicted to anything. So exercise can become addictive. So you build tolerance, you do more and more. Day one, you go 20 minutes on the elliptical. And then down the road, it's 2 hours on the elliptical. And now you're impeding upon relationships. You're isolating yourself. So now it's become unhealthy. Pace is literally like pacing yourself through the process of exercise to have a healthy relationship with it.
And so, as you heard, you can find it on the Google Play Store, on the Apple Store, iOS. And so download the app and give her a follow. You mentioned earlier that you stay in shape. Many people do the bulking and cutting. Is that what you do within a limited range, or what's your approach to that?
Okay, fitness is a lifestyle for me. Clean eating is something that I always do. If you're asking me what's your cheat, it's like sugar-free vanilla ice cream. So I have a competition September 28th. That's 4 weeks out. I don't start cutting until 6 weeks out because I'm always clean eating. But then depending upon what the girls generally look like in that organization, do I need to look a little bit bigger? Do I need to look leaner? Do I need to look harder? Whatever that is. And then I'll tailor my nutrition according to that. I don't have to do this crazy bulk or cut programs. It's a lifestyle for me. I'm at the point in my life where I crave clean foods. And if I eat something that's not, it tastes really good going down, and then it's like awful later. And then I feel really guilty about it. And it's a cycle, and it wasn't worth it. It doesn't serve me well to bulk. And I think that bulking can be, depending on how you do it, if you are eating larger amounts of healthy foods, that might be considered my bulk.
Okay. So the $1 million question that everybody asks when they hear the phrase clean eating, how do you define clean eating?
It would be lean proteins, fibrous, complex carbohydrates, and mainly green vegetables.
All right.
Water, black coffee, green tea.
Yes. I am 100% plant-based. Jodi is not. But I love the fact that you mentioned fiber. And it's so healthy for gut bacteria and overall health. I love that you keep emphasizing that this is a lifestyle, because Jodi and I, even though we're on the opposite spectrums, both eat that way. We eat to sustain our lifestyle. We understand this is a long-term journey, and this is the only body we get. You mentioned in your bio, you're an elite NASM trainer. How do you get that? Because I just got my certification in NASM. So
I think that was in 2016. NASM came out with a master trainer program, and there was only like 4 of us, and they put us through this like grueling sit in this warehouse. Like oh man, we were like the guinea pigs that went through it, in front of Jillian Michaels kind of people. And there was a written exam and the hands-on exam. So that was a really incredible experience. And there were only a few master trainers. I think it's in like the 20s, maybe 30. all across the US. It's just a vigorous process. You get years under your belt. That was back in the day. I'm sure it was 10 times harder than what they've probably modified it to be now. And then from that, I got to do different things with NASM. I got to be a speaker at their opt conferences and help create some of their content. That was a great educational component to becoming a trainer.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds vigorous. I took the exam. I passed it 2 or 3 months ago. Found it harder than I thought it was going to be. Maybe because I just did it self-study as opposed to going to a class or getting a professor. I also did the nutrition, and that was a lot easier. Going back to nutrition, what do you recommend to people when they want to better their diet? What's one of the first things you tell them to look at?
So when I get a new client, I'll ask them, do you want me to include the nutritional component? So it goes hand in hand. Some people want to focus on one element and then tap into another. So some people come in like, I just really need to start moving my body at this point, one thing at a time. Otherwise, I'll say, how can I serve you best in terms of nutrition? I'll take their initial measurements like BMI, body fat, inches, calculate basal metabolic rate, all of those things. Then I'll say, do you want me to give you something? I'll calculate the macros and caloric intake you should have and give you some sample 4 ounces of lean protein. Just keep it really basic so that the person they might have some sort of job where they're constantly taking clients out to lunches and things like that. So I'm like, you want to order something like this? Or they might be in a relationship where you eat dinner together, you do things together. So it's like, how can I do that without taking away from that? More of a guideline. Or I'll say, do you thrive on structure? Do you do well when I tell you exactly what to do and you follow it? Weigh and measure your food. It is what it is. Some people rebel. Some people say, no, that's what I need. I've written 2 cookbooks that are on Amazon. It goes into the shopping list and exactly what you do and how to make all the food. Some people are foodies and they want to still have that fun experience in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, this would be more suitable for you. There isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. Every individual has a different relationship with food because you have cultural background, your environment that you're in on a daily basis. I live in a very controlled environment. It's my business. Not everyone's like that. It just depends on that person. You have to be able to pivot, be flexible because life changes. You travel and it's okay. So you're going to go from the strict to now the guideline because you're in Texas or something. Just try to do your best and think of the things in the fist size serving, whatever it is. This is now a lifestyle and it's habitual. So you know what to do now.
Okay,
that's where I'm at on nutrition.
No, and that's good because many people think it has to be so rigid that they can't be flexible. People know that on the weekends I have plant-based ice cream, anywhere between 400 to 1,200 calories. But in the overall scheme of things, I stay within my macros. I am pretty low body fat myself. So be flexible, give yourself some grace, but make sure that the majority is healthy food. And so I like that approach.
And the connotation of the word diet is misconstrued, right? To think that it's restrictive and that it means being hungry and starving, when actually diet is just what's on your plate. It is what you eat. So when you're telling someone my diet, you're actually telling them this is what I eat. You're not saying I only have 500 calories a day. That's wrong, but that's what we've associated that word to be because all of the mainstream types of forms of eating use the term diet.
In your bio, you mentioned trauma can be life-changing in a good way. Could you elaborate on that? Because I know when we're going through the healing process with trauma, everything can feel like it's hopeless and that things can't get better.
Sure. So there are stages that take place when you've had some sort of traumatic experience. It might be associated with grief or loss or setback. It can be empowering to get up by your bootstraps and keep going. You got to change your mindset to what you can do. What the tools that you have right here, right now in your situation. The first step is the most important, and that's just getting started. For someone like me, I knew that my mom would tell me to find my passion for my career. What makes you happy, Megan? I tried different things. I have my master's in education. I tried to be a teacher for a long time. I thought I was going to be a teacher and a basketball coach. It didn't pan out that way. But now I'm still helping people, teaching people, and coaching people. Life doesn't have this like straight path. And with anything, even if it's just like exercising and eating healthy, people think there has to be this perfect starting mark or perfect time period. And that's just not the way that life works. We see people in our passing every day going through things we're unaware of, but being able to smile at someone, show compassion, and wave hello, those simple gestures are so important because we never know what people are going through. It's important to find your why, find your purpose, and expand upon that. So it might take some self-reflection, some self-discovery, some trial and error, but action-oriented goals are what are important, because you can sit and make a plan, but until you do anything, it has to be actionable. That's something I really emphasize with the behavioral therapy at my treatment center. I want the person to leave after their session with an action-oriented plan. Not that they got to sit there and vent and have someone, have an empathetic ear. That's not the point of it. You could talk to your friend that way, but give direction, do something about it. It sounds so simple and it can even sound harsh, but you got to do something about it. A lot of people procrastinate and put things off because a tragedy has been what they feel is a disruption, an unexpected experience. And that's exactly what it is. But sometimes through the unexpected, we find what we're meant to be here for.
Yeah, I tell Jodi all the time, if I could capture that, I'd be a trillionaire, because I talk to a lot of people who, oh, hey, Gio, how'd you lose all the weight? How'd you get in shape? And you can see it in their eyes. They're not going to do anything about it. They like hearing the story. They like hearing the hard work I put in, but they're not going to do anything about it. I wish we could implant what you just said in people's hearts. When you're healthy of mind, body, and soul, it's just better for you and for everybody around you. I noticed on your website that you have a program for people on the spectrum. I have family on the spectrum, so does Jodi. Tell us, how'd you get into that, and what is it about?
Sure. So there's an organization called the Medical Fitness Network, and it's a really great, so basically we focus on special populations as well as general population as well. And so I became on their education board of advisors, so helped to create the content to certified trainers, CEUs, etc. They had asked me to come up with some sort of special population. Both of my parents were special education teachers. I've been around a lot of autistic people in my life. One of the things associated with being on the spectrum is obesity has a high prevalence among that population. They only eat a certain way, and that population doesn't necessarily get the level of physical activity they should be. As a parent, you have to advocate for your child. Movement is medicine, even for a person on the spectrum, and being able to incorporate some of the mannerisms that a person on the spectrum might have, and it keeps them engaged and stimulated through an exercise session.
Any lasting words of wisdom, maybe not sure if they can make changes or just starting out on their journey? Any words of wisdom to that person listening?
Sure. I think the most important thing is that you have to find your why and the purpose of why you want to make the behavior change. What is the outcome that you're seeking? It could just be like, I just want to look better in the mirror. And that's enough to take the first step. Establish that why, connect to it, and stick with it. You'll reach different check marks. Okay, now I like what I see in the mirror. I want a little bit of tone. And so you keep going because it evolves. And that's how it becomes a lifestyle change that lasts. You're seeking the rewards and the benefits mentally, physically, spiritually. You yourself are growing and improving as a person. That's how the program works. It keeps finding ways that you connect to it to sustain it.
If people want to follow you, how would they find the results? I guess maybe you'll post it, or is there a website where people can find how the competition went? And what's the best way for people to connect with you if they want to connect with you?
Sure. Post the results. I have my Instagram, dr.megan_everybody'sfit. My website, everybody'sfitoceanside.com, and my Facebook, Megan Johnson McCullough, business Facebook, Everybody's Fit.
Unfortunately, there was some technical glitches, but we had a fantastic conversation with Dr. Megan Johnson McCullough, touching on her journey in fitness, bodybuilding, and her work in addiction recovery. Dr. Megan's insights on finding your why, the importance of clean eating, and the role of fitness in both physical and mental health have been truly inspiring. We hope you found value in her story and can take away some practical advice for your own health and wellness journey. Jodi, what'd you think?
Absolutely. And while we didn't get to cover everything, we encourage you all to connect with Dr. Megan through her social media, on her website, to follow her ongoing journey and find more resources. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Mindful Muscle Podcast. And remember, every small step you take towards a healthier lifestyle is a victory. Keep moving forward, and we'll see you in the next episode.